And I'm honestly surprised that like Mark and Brendan were able to get caught up as quick as they did. And I was like, no, this is actually now required reading. Like you actually need to watch this now.
Honestly, it wasn't. I mean, luckily I was able to watch. I was at work. It's been really chill for me to just tune in passively while I was just doing some stuff done at work.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, let's just jumping right into the binges here. Well, one of the main binges for the week. If you've been paying attention, if you're in that part of the internet, oh Jesus, if you're in that part of the internet, the Amazing Digital Circus had its finale recently, so that was really big. It was in theaters, and then also it finally debuted on YouTube this week on the 19th, or last week on the 19th. But we pretty much did the 1 week grace period for spoilers, but also honestly I'm surprised I didn't get spoiled on this the whole time, to be honest. But I literally just didn't even bother looking up anything for the game in my algorithm at all, and I immediately just waited until it came out. But we also have the trailers on the screen for visual watchers as well. But yes,
this shit was crazy. Like at first, first of all, the fact that this is available to watch in its entirety for free on YouTube.
Yeah, man.
They better come out with a DVD box set, and I will just buy that and have it. So I can keep.
If anyone could do it, I feel like Glitch could do it.
Glitch can do it.
Yeah. It's astonishing. On top of that, like how meta it kind of becomes. Like it starts off like kind of like wacky and crazy, but then like more and more questions get asked, and you start asking, what is Kane? Who is Kane? What the fuck's going on? Like it's a lot of shit that happens.
It's actually funny because nobody actually asked how was Kane, which is actually a very big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those of you who don't know what Digital Circus is, because you're not chronically online or you're not in this part of the internet, Amazing Digital Circus is one of the newer original animated series from Glitch Productions, which is a really big indie web animation studio that's up there with like Rooster Teeth or even like, I don't know, they're like one of the big ones, and they actually broke ground with Digital Circus by, you might have heard about this, they put the last episode in theaters for its final premiere 2 weeks ahead of its web release, and they also have it available on Netflix at the same time. Like the same time it releases on YouTube, it goes up on Netflix, because Glitch Productions is really trying to be a big pioneer in the indie animation scene and kind of like prove that indie animation can stand up with like some of the bullshit that we get on Netflix, like whatever the fuck mating season is. So yeah, but no, it's really good. Like they also did other shows like Murder Drones, and also in addition to a lot of really good shows.
That was one I loved.
Yeah, man. But yeah, Glitch Productions is, you've probably seen them at, like, if you've been in a hot topic in the last 3 years, which is as long as it's taken for us to get to this point. I remember watching the Digital Circus pilot just on a whim, and I actually took to it because it was, like, just an impressive piece of web animation, but then over the course of the episodes, by episode, like, 3, 4, it started getting kind of real, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, the animation quality just leaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just also love, like, how the show did kind of make I don't want to say a hard, actually I want to say it was kind of hard, but not in a bad way. A hard pivot of, hey, like, almost like getting real serious out of nowhere. Like, okay, everything's hee hee ha ha, and all of a sudden, oh. Mm-hmm. And I love that the show ended up doing something like that, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's kind of giving me something out of Kent's like Angel Beats, where it was just kind of goofy, kind of silly, and then one episode it just got super serious.
No, it got mega serious.
Nothing else was a joke. Well, there were still jokes, but like, oh, these people aren't just ha ha funny anymore. This is like terminal.
It's very colorful, shapes and colors looking show. At a glance, you think it's something for kids, which obviously has happened a lot recently. But it is very much a show that covers more, I'd say, like high teens, low 20s, or adult themes. So I don't think kids will watch it for the shapes and colors, but they won't understand most of the subject matter. But I wouldn't recommend letting your kid watch this.
No, I recommend this is definitely for young adults, because let's be transparent here. We all know somebody that's just like one or a handful of these characters on this show, and it's fucking crazy.
They do a good job with the archetypes and the character typings for this show.
Yeah, it's just like you never think it would start getting really meta into like the latter half, and it's just like it made me kind of think about like it does kind of make you think about yourself and like how, and like what kind of quote unquote role you fill in places,
Yeah.
or like you could see, like I mentioned, you could see different people in your life that fit some of these roles. Like full transparency, I identify with Ragatha a little bit for like always trying to be a people pleaser and always trying to do above and beyond just to make people happy. Like I definitely empathize with it.
Yeah. Actually, so in terms of, like I said, the show's been around for 3 years. I've been around the whole time. Al, have you been watching since the beginning?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and then Brendan, you literally watched the whole. You've known of it, but you literally binged the whole thing in the last
I
like
watched
4
the
days.
first 2 episodes like, when they first came out, and then like I just fell off of it, and then I just binged the rest. If it wasn't the first 2, it was the first 3, and then like I binged the rest.
Nice. So you already said you kind of relate to Ragatha. She's like your favorite character, or is just she the more relatable character for you?
She's relatable. Favorite character, I'd have to say Kinger, because like he had some really good moments, and it's just like
Good
like I
dad.
knew there was something about
dad.
him. I'm like, all right, there's obviously more to this. There's more to him than meets the eye. And then in that episode in the haunted house, when he was talking to Pomni, I'm like, no, he's a real one.
Yeah, when he
He's
actually
a-
like his sanity came back for just a hot moment, like
That's the dad of the group.
Yep.
And like when his sanity came back and he was like, everyone was just starting to click. It's just like, oh. And then the same thing when he was hanging out with Ragatha, I was just like, oh, all right. Like, no, Kinger is actually pretty good. Like, it took me a minute. Cause I'm like, oh, he's just some crazy dude. But I'm like, there's got to be something more to it. Because like, as the show went on, you start seeing like these characters are multidimensional, as people tend to be. So it's just like, oh, this is who Kinger is. Fascinating. But yeah, like out of all the characters, I'd say Kinger is probably like my favorite character.
I would say for me, my favorite character is Pomni. Now, I won't lie and say like I fully relate to her. I definitely like relate to some of the things that she ends up doing with, especially with like her kind of trying, especially like at one point where she was trying to fit into a role that she was just not, that she felt like she was destined to play.
She was trying to be evil.
Yeah, well, not even evil. Like when she, like when she was with Jax. So I forgot what episode number it was. But when he basically said, like, you know, I'm the funny guy, so I do funny things. So she's like, okay, then fine. Then I'll just do this because that's the role I fit in. Which, getting kind of personal for myself, there was a point some years ago where I figured, like, okay, well, fine. Since I'm going to be this big, you know, like everybody sees me as, I'm going to put it bluntly, people see me as a nigga, then fine, fuck it. I'll just be that nigga then. And I felt like I was just trying to fit into a role like that. So I guess it's like, that's like one thing where I could say I kind of fit that one. But also, all in all, I really do just like Pomni as a character herself, especially with the way that she loves to try to bring people together.
Pomni is a great character.
Yeah, definitely. I think that if I had to pick a favorite character, I would probably also say Pomni. I'm just like I like main characters, but also, honestly, I like Jax too. I like Jax because it's like by the time we got to the end of the show, it was just he was a very nuanced character, but just also in terms of just him and himself, I don't know. I like his character. I do like Jax, to be honest. But then I think up there as well, Kinger for sure. And then if I had to pick a third, it'd probably be like, yeah, Jax, Pomni, Kinger. And then of the others, it'd probably also maybe be Zooble. Probably. I like Zooble.
Zooble's pretty good.
I like Zooble. Because she was like the one who was definitely the most like, I'm just done.
The
with
more
everything.
grounded in their own way.
Yeah, they're like, I'm tired of this shit.
They were the only one that was like telling Kane, like, bro, you need to stop, bro. You need to relax.
Actually, to a point where even Kane was basically kind of like, okay, Zooble.
All right, talk to me, Zooble. What do we got to do?
It's just like with like in the last like what episode or two, like in the last like couple of episodes, the last couple of episodes, I really started to hate Jax because I'm like,
oh yeah,
I know someone like him.
Yes.
And it's like it pisses me off because I'm like, dude, stop. I know exactly the kind of person this is, and I do not like people like that. Like, I get it. I 100% understand, like, with the revelations that you learn about him. Again, unfortunately, I know people who are like that, and it's just like, open up, speak.
Yeah.
Don't just be shutting people out and be like, hey, oh, haha, you thought I was actually your friend, but I really wasn't. I'm like, clearly you were, but you're trying so hard to deflect.
Yeah, let's just start the conversation. Let's just start getting into it, because we're here. We're gonna talk spoilers, bro. Y'all, if you watch the show, you've watched the episode already, so we're not even gonna worry about not spoiling you. So let's talk about the finale and the show in general. And let's just start talking about Jax in general. Yeah. So Brandon, continue your thoughts on Jax, this fucking toxic ass nigga.
Jax reminds me of one of my old roommates. Toxic asshole. But once you get past his layers and his nuance, you see that, like, hey, he's never really had a chance to openly trust anybody because he was basically abandoned by his parents. Like, he was like, the story of his real person is that he was a homeless kid just on the street and like thought he killed his mom, had no one he could trust. And then when he started to open up to Ribbit, and like effectively started falling for her, like, he immediately like just shuts the door. It's just like, bro, like, I understand, like, I understand that kind of mentality because I've seen it and we've all seen it, but it's just like, you're actively ruining everything around you, and then like, you shouldn't, and don't be in your feelings when like literally no one is there, when everybody has tried their damnness to fucking help you. But again, that's just like, while as annoying as it is, that kind of personality, like just being an asshole just for the sake of being an asshole and like shutting people out, knowing the nuance of Jax is like, okay, I understand. Still an asshole though, period. But
no questions about that.
At the end,
he's definitely one.
At the end, he definitely started to open up, and I started to respect him more. Because just like, all right,
for a brief second,
when Pomni latched onto him, when he fucking extracted and crashed out, she basically pulled him back to the point where it's like, hey, look, he's still kind of there, but give him some time. Let him kind of process himself first, because he still kind of needs to open up. And honestly, them ending it pretty much on that note is great, because that just kind of, it kind of makes you ask the question, okay, like, it makes you look at your friends, look at your family, look at people around you a little bit differently. And it's just like we all know a person like that in our life, or with like every character, even to the extent every character, even to some extent with Kane, and how like he's just trying to do what he was created to do, but as an AI, which, spoiler, he's an AI, no shit, he doesn't know what that really means. And it's like, he's trying to like live up to the expectation of like being like the perfect program and doing all this shit. So it's like, you can kind of sympathize with him sometimes, especially at the very end, when you realize that like, hey, I did not understand the gravity of my actions and how I fucked up everybody. I'm sorry. I genuinely want to make amends. And, you know, almost had me teared up when like they were showing like their fucking social media feeds. Like, yeah, this is the life that they're living.
Real lives.
Like, yes. It's like, while like Pomni out there is this person, in here, I'm still Pomni. And that's fine. So it's just like, oh, all right. Like that, again, like that, it definitely, like, you definitely start seeing like the multi-dimensional nature of like the human psyche and like the shit that they've gone through. Like, a lot of them have dealt with trauma or something like that of some sort. Gangle, she reminds us of one of our friends, and then I don't have to tell you who, but she's one of our friends, 100%. Yeah, it was Kane's crash out, high key kind of terrifying. It's just like, he's like, oh, I'm just God, I can do whatever I want. I'm like, well,
yeah, I had a little power trip there.
Yes, but yeah, no, it was, again, very very well told story, especially when it comes to like dancing around a lot of different nuances of like mental health and like, to an extent, sexual identity in a way. Like, it touches like a lot of the modern things in a very, like, a lot of the modern things and topics these days in a very, and sensitive things in a very well mannered way. So yeah, definitely a really good watch. Yeah, definitely a really good watch.
I wanna hear what you got to say about this, Al, because No, yeah, I want to hear what you got to say. As soon as I finished the episode, I was like, I gotta talk to Al. I gotta talk to Al.
So yeah, actually, I just gonna say fuck. I'm backed out of this match, but like one thing I do want to go about touching on as well. Like I want to talk about this last episode because I've seen and heard people have some gripes. Yes, this is what it's all. I've seen the people have some gripes about the last episode, saying that it's very heavy focused on Jax. And I'm in the mindset of this is exactly where this was going for a good while. I think that the show did a good job of, yes, we do follow the story along with Pomni. We got introduced at the same time as Pomni. Everything else has already been going on. But however, if you do start paying attention, the show kind of gave us a thing.
It's a two-watcher for sure. It's a two-time watcher for sure.
Because if you start paying attention, you'll realize that a lot of the stuff we're just seeing it from Pomni's vision. But Pomni was never actually the main character of the show.
Yeah, she's more of a bridge.
Right. But like, so we hear about different things that Jax is going through. Like, we knew quite a bit about some of the other people. Well, we didn't really know much about Zubo. We knew that Gango was like this kind of anime, kind of nerdy, kind of person while they were most likely in school. You know, we all knew somebody who was kind of like that. Hell, myself, I was kind of like that. And we found out about Kinger. We don't really know anything about Pomni, but we're also at the same time we're living this through Pomni's eyes. But Jax was really like the only person who we really knew nothing about.
Yep.
Because we already started seeing breaks in that. We saw cracks in that mask pretty early on. And it just got further and further in. Now we finally get full focus on who he is. And some people had a problem with it. They said that we didn't really get a focus on Ragatha or Zubo or Gango or anybody else like that. I'm actually one of the few people who's in the minority of I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Because this thing, like, at the end of the road, no matter what you look at it, the person who Jax is based off of, yes, they're still alive. They're out there. They're doing their own thing. Jax himself, putting it bluntly, and sorry if you hear like this is the case of looking at somebody who kind of more or less drove themselves into suicide.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's straight up what it is. He killed himself because he had a lot of problems that he didn't want to talk about. He bottled it up. He had a problem with opening up. And after a while, the beast is going to overflow. In his case, it did, and he abstracted. And I like the fact that we did not have this thing where, you know, we brought Jax back. He didn't come back. And as far as we know, that's never going to happen in the digital escape. He is, metaphorically speaking, he is dead. He is not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I feel like this last episode was a big part, like was a very strong ending.
Let me jump in really quick here.
Yes.
Well, let me interject really quick. So, with the whole thing with Jax, right? Considering that like that was basically his episode. We've had an episode for everyone except him until that exact episode. Basically, like episode 8 was pretty much Kane's episode with the breakdown and everything and his god power trip and shit. But this was pretty much the Jax episode, and the fact that we needed pretty much 45 minutes to go into what the fuck is up with him is amazing, first and foremost. But also, I like the whole idea, like, yeah, people have, and I was looking at comment sections and talking to people, and like, yeah, Jax is a cautionary tale. Jax is straight up a cautionary tale as an animated character, where you can have your own stuff going on. This is an example of a person who grew up in a situation where they didn't really know what love was. They didn't know how to trust people. Like I said, this is a 2-watch show, because then you start to go back to quotes of people or other things that characters have said in passing, and then you start to actually analyze it. Like when they were on the episode where they were hopping through adventures and they were at the Fireflies just chilling, and then he was like, if Ragatha keeps telling people that she likes them or loves them or whatever, it starts to lose meaning. And I was like, oh, that's just like your mom came at you for you exposing yourself and opening up to her, and then she basically hit you, reprimanded you, talked down to you, and then at the end she hugged you and said she loved you. How do you trust anyone who does all that and still at the end of the day says they love you, right? So it's like he can't trust anyone who says they love him or respect him, because at the end of the day you could always turn your back and just do whatever and then try to walk it off like nothing happened, right? And then the whole thing with how the previous episode, when he was in the bed in his room, and then he pretty much all but abstracted. Like, that was an example. That was literally an example of someone who was about to off themselves, and they got stopped right beforehand, and no one else knew but them, right? Like, oh, I was gonna actually hang myself, but you actually called me and wanted to go get pizza or something, right? So then I didn't do it. But then in the next episode, and I like how this happened because some other people that were watching, I was talking to them about it. Then have also unfortunately had people who have rewrote their character sheets and have done that in real life. I'm actually going to reference Etika in this case, who is like a really big YouTuber, really big person in the scene, black creator. He ended his life back in like 2018, 17. But it was pretty much just like that, where we all saw the signs. He was going into manic episodes. He was talking down to people. He was doing a whole bunch of stuff. And then all of a sudden he walks away. And then the next thing you know, on the news, they say they found a body in the river. They found a body in the lake. So it's like he walked away from Pomni, and then Pomni did the thing that everyone says, I forgot how fast it can happen. And then the next scene cut, he's extracted. And we're like, no one has time to like, oh, they're gonna do the whole thing again when he's in his room, and then he'll do the whole. No, bro, he's donezo. He's gone. He's gone, bro.
Because like something that, if you also notice as well, this was a straight parallel. This was a parallel within what. So when Pomni went inside his mind, when she started actually investigating his background, looking through his life in the digital circus through Jax's eyes, when he was talking to Ribbit, and he started cutting Ribbit out, and Ribbit had nobody else, and Ribbit, and then when he finally went to go see her, she abstracted.
She also was gone. Yeah.
And this was the same exact thing, where he started isolating himself, talking to nobody. They finally went to go check on him, and it was already game over.
Yeah.
So this, like, I like the way that they did this last episode. Again, up until the last episode. What I'm not this episode, like the episode before this. Everything has always kind of been kiki ha ha. Even the last episode, I will say, was kind of kiki ha ha at the beginning, when Kane basically said, "Oh, I'm running the show. You're just all pawns in my circus."
Yeah.
Even like that part right there, which is kind of funny. Everything up to that, before that point, has always been kind of like, for the giggles, for the laughs. That's why I said, like, and then it just goes, we're not funny anymore. Everything we're saying is dead ass serious. And if you're looking for a joke right here, you paid attention to nothing that was going on in this show up until this point. David said it, and I'm going to echo it. This is definitely a 2-time watch through, because you start picking up on a lot of the darker nuances that's going on here. Each one of these people, one way or the other, no matter what, up until like the last point, think about it, like, look at it from this perspective. Even before Kane decided to just, like, basically kind of, I want to say, ruin everything, even though everything was already ruined beforehand, these people had one thing that they were clinging on to: hope of being able to leave.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they realized, we were made here. We can't leave. We are, like, there's nothing else. That last little bit of hope is thrashed. Yeah. They lost all of that.
Yeah, dude. And then also, like, episode 8, where Kane did where Jax called it. He was like, "Oh, this is all a facade. This is all an adventure. We're gonna act like we're leaving. Then Kane's gonna pull the rug behind us, and we're gonna be stuck here." And then, but also, it just so happens that coincided with the fact that Jax. When Zubul asked, it was like, oh, everyone's like, oh, we're gonna finally go home and whatever. And then Zubul was like, don't you have someone waiting for you? And he was like, yeah. He lied. He doesn't, because he literally was homeless before he got into the circus. So then he had that panic attack and was like, I need to stay here, because if I get out of here, there's nothing for me. And it just so happens it lined up perfectly with Kane's whole mental, where he was like, oh, they really want to stay here with me. No, bro. Jax just didn't want to leave.
And he had like all their fucking mental files, like their entire logs there. So it's just I will say that with Jax, people who are complaining that like it became Jax centric, again, we're not paying the fuck attention, because again, it's a cautionary tale. there is someone like that in your life somewhere, or at the very least, someone working towards those stages. And these are signs you can look out for. So it's like, again, case in point, my old roommate was pretty much just like this to a T. And like, I think similarly enough, BoJack Horseman does this topic as well too.
That's why I don't want to watch BoJack, bro, because it's so heavy. It's so heavy. I don't want to. I'm scared of watching BoJack.
It's the same thing, but way more real. And it's just like you got these people that like shut themselves out, shut themselves in, and like don't talk to anybody, don't talk about their problems, and like they either someone makes a breakthrough and ends up getting through to them, or they're dead. And it's just like these are like with Jax having so much nuance, like with Ragatha, like looking at all the characters, right? You got Ragatha, Gangle, Zubul, Pomni, and Kinger. Like let's just like the main crew. The main crew stands Jax. Pomni is like kind of the wild card because like she doesn't really outwardly show like major problems because she's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't want to be here. I want to leave. And then Zubul's like, fuck this shit. Like they already established themselves in a way. They know who they are. They know what they define as, and they've accepted themselves for who they are. Granted, they're still the whole time they're still trying to, especially in the latter episodes, they're trying to accept their body, like their circus body, as what it is, and they found a lot of use for it with like the different parts they can swap between, right? Mm-hmm. And then Gangle's just like super shy, super unconfident, and like doesn't know how to speak up or stand up for themselves. Yeah. And then they gain confidence through Zubul, which again, we know someone like Gangle personally. Yeah. And it's just like, all right, like it was like almost 1-to-1. I'm like, damn, okay. That being said, again, not too much to say about Gangle. That's pretty common for like a young woman who's like unconfident in her abilities and like has kind of had left her job to try and chase an art career that like may or may not go anywhere. Like we've still seen people like this. And then Ragatha honestly is a she's part of a culmination of like how millennials are, where we have to live with these major expectations, and like depending on your households, living up to your parents' expectations and trying to meet these unrealistic demands and try and be perfect and all that shit. Unfortunately, again, we all know people are like this, myself included. That being said, Jax is the most nuanced because Jax's tell is not the most obvious unless you pay attention to what he says and how he interacts, as well as like paying attention to what he says, how he interacts, and what he does, and then reading between the lines. Because on the surface, it's like, oh, Jax was an asshole most of the show until he died. That's just about it. And then people started to feel bad for him. Because there was a moment where Gangle was like, he's basically dead. I don't know, like, I should be crying right now, but I don't. Because I have this hatred towards him. Yep. He's a fucking asshole.
How do I cry about an asshole, bro? How do I cry for a person who's been a dick to me? Frame 1. Since I spawned in this bitch. And then, Jax named Gangle. Out of pettiness.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So it's like she has every right to feel as conflicted as she
Why can't I cry even though this nigga died?
Exactly. And like she is justified for feeling the way she does. Because it's like
you don't have to
She's like she sees like the humanity in him because like he was just a tortured soul. But an asshole wrapped around it.
Why would I cry over my abuser dying?
Exactly.
So like I'm not gonna say who because I know this person is not watching this show. But not to mention this was when I was back in elementary school. But there was this one girl who bullied the hell out, like not physically, but verbally bullied the hell out of me. And I shit you not, I know it's probably gonna sound kind of messed up, but let's just say if she ended up going down the same path that Jax did right now, would I cry? Quite honestly, I'm not gonna shit you. No, I'll be like, damn, that's fucked up. I hate that happened. But it would be really tough for me to shed a tear because my mind isn't going to be on the case of my personal experience is going to be, this is all the mental anguish and hell that you've put me on while you were here. that doesn't get absolved because you're no longer here.
Hey
It
man,
sucks
that's
that you're not
that's
here,
everyone
but-
with the president
Yeah.
right now, bro. Like,
Yes.
in fact, we're all calling off work. We're all calling off work. The fuck, like.
I didn't want to say that, but that's okay. Since we already pulled that can of worm out, I'm just gonna go ahead. Yeah. So it's basically the case for him. It's like once you're gone, I'm not gonna sit here and shed a tear for you.
We're trying
I'm
to
like,
smoke that.
damn,
We're
that's
trying to
fucked
smoke
up.
that tangerine pack, dog.
I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. All at the same time. No, nigga, I'm not gonna shed a tear for your ass.
No.
Mhm.
I'm like, damn, okay, bye. On to the next. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and try to say like, oh, he was such a great person when he was alive. No, fuck that. He was a dick. And I'm gonna stand by that. And if I'm an asshole because I feel that same way for what I got put through because of you, then I'll just be a dick and I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
You don't get a pass, you don't get the boo-hoo, the tears
Yep.
from being an asshole to somebody. Granted, in Jack's case, yes, you went through hell because your father was a dick to you, and your mother was every time you opened up to her, she would not only be a dick, she hated you because of your father, and she loved you because you were her son, and then at the same time she hated you again because you were her father. Like he even said that after verbally abusing her, the first thing she did after like all that,
Hugged her,
and
and
she
said, "I love
hugged
you."
him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. She said, I love you, and hugged him. And he's like, I didn't know if she meant it sincerely or she was just fucking with me. And which is why he shoved her off. Like,
I want to talk about the whole Ribbit and Kaufmo thing too, because
Yeah.
the two characters that we only briefly heard of the whole show, and then we finally got to see who they were and how they affected Jax and the circus as a whole. And like we said, it's unfortunate because Jax is, since he spawned in that bitch, after that moment with Ribbit in Ribbit's room, pretty much he became a stain on the circus, bro. He became a plague and a toxicity to the circus that needed to be stopped. Cause it's like it's crazy. Cause I know some people, like I was talking to my friend about the whole Etika situation. Basically, he did pretty similar stuff where as soon as you try to extend a hand, it gets swatted away, and you're just like, bro, I thought we were cool, and it's like, no, we're not cool. And it's like, dude, we were literally just kicking it like a week ago. What are you talking about? And they're just like actively, you just see them pushing people away. And then it's just like, now it's because it's like a perspective of, I like how they did the parallel with Ribbit and Pomni though. Because Ribbit was pretty much like, Ribbit was genuinely trying to be like, I'm trying to be here for you. You can open up to me. I trust you. And you can tell me whatever you want. And that is that is so great to have a friend or a person that you can trust like that, to where you can open up and just be like, hey, whatever you're going through, I'm not going to judge you. This is a safe zone. Talk to me. And then for Jax to just be like, I'm going to renege on everything we just opened up and shared about. I'm not going to share your bullshit, but you're damn near not going to, I'm not going to act like I just told you my whole life story. And then now I'm going to gaslight you to make you think like you're crazy. And then that was just such a really rough like sequence of scenes, but it was such a very well done sequence of scenes that they did there when they were arguing on the snowy summit, and Ribbit was just like, dude, can we just stop this whole thing? Like, we can go back to the way we were? And he's just like, what are you talking about? We never had anything. We were never friends. And it's like, bro, you're just throwing all of this away because you're insecure.
Yeah,
crazy,
like,
bro.
That was a big case of him looking back at what he ended up doing is he already had all that pain and anguish that he had to face in the real life. And they got brought into the digital circus and he repressed it all completely. I would probably say that his time at the beginning in the digital circus was
amazing.
But I said that's probably the happiest he's been, because like I got true friends. My past isn't here, and I got people who want to be around me. And then Ribbit,
and then he got reminded of it. Yeah.
Right. It wasn't even in the sense of like it was a selfish case. She was genuinely just saying, hey, if something's going on, you can tell me about who you are. I want to know who the real Jax is, not this circus version of you, the real you. And what she did, he finally did get comfortable and he told her everything. Now, what ended up happening with that is it basically turned right back into a case of, I told you everything that was out there. Basically, I'm in this bubble.
I made myself
in the
vulnerable.
circus. Right.
Yep.
And I brought my own pain that was from out there in this bubble. Now, how do I know that this pain that I brought in here is not going to hurt me again? The best way to do that is push that pain as far away from me as I possibly can, which is what he did with Ribbit. And I hate to say it like this, but he basically made Ribbit take that pain to her grave.
Yep.
Yep.
And then it's like, and then you go back to when he was talking to Pomni, because I love Pomni, because she was straight up, she was the first motherfucker that was like, I'm not gonna let you do this shit to me, bro, because he was so two-faced to everyone in the circus, because like, and also, it's so cool how people are so perceptive of this stuff when things are happening live, when the show's actively posting episodes. People had theories of what the fuck's going on with Jackson, like, oh, he probably killed Ribbit and Kaufmo, or caused them to abstract or whatever, because of the way he was acting towards them, and we didn't know the extra nuance of everything, his backstory yet, but like, no, people were kind of right. He caused them to extract, because he was just being an asshole. He was doing the exact same thing he did to Pomni, and it got to them. But Pomni was the first one to be like, bro, you're not going to do this whole, what are we doing? Like, we just had a good time playing this gun game. We were bonding.
Yeah,
we had this whole thing. We had a great day, bro. And you're going to try to act like that shit didn't happen? You're going to act like I'm fake? You're going to act like we're going to walk away from this and, like, not reference any of this tomorrow? Nah, bro. Nah, bro. You're going to fight me. You're going to fight me. Put your dukes up. Put your dukes up.
And to give Pomni even more respect, when she was in his mind, because not to mention a lot of stuff that she was also seeing to a certain point. Well, this was before she was seeing.
Some of it was more than she needed to see.
She saw him physically kill her. Like,
yeah.
He didn't kill her, he almost killed her. But he saw what she wanted to do with him. He wanted to choke the life out of her. And she still said, you could try, but I'm still going to be here for you, because you're not going to push me away that easily. You will fail at that one.
Yeah, she's resilient.
Yeah, really. But then it's like, and then going on to the whole Pomni resilience thing, and like the whole metaphor of her as well. When she was talking to Jackson, she hugged him and stuff like that, and she was basically she was willing. She was the example of a friend who was willing to go as far as damn near, like, mutually taking themselves out to help you be comfortable. Because, like, right when they pulled her out of the extraction and she was glitched and she was hurt, it was an example. And, like, she still didn't help Jax. Jax is still gone. But she had lasting pain after that. She was damaged from that. And unless Kane came back, which he did, and then turned that off and helped her, like, that was a permanent scar on Pomni for trying to help somebody who was being self-destructive, who was gonna be gone, and there was nothing she could do about it. And then the rest of them pulled her out of that and was like, hey, we can still help you. You don't have to take all this on by yourself. You still have the rest of us. But at the end of the day, Jax was gone, and then Pomni still had scars from it because of how much she couldn't do.
And something I love that you brought that up, because something I love as well is another small part was, like you said, when she had that residual pain and she was still recovering before Kane showed back up, and Ragatha touched her and she started feeling that pain. Pomni looked at her and said, doesn't that hurt? And Ragatha basically said, it's fine.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, so I love the way that you said that, because Jax is gone, Pomni's feeling that pain, and now Ragatha is also feeling that pain from Pomni. Is it as much as Pomni's feeling it right now? No, because it's just her hand. Also, at the same time, she now feels that pain,
and it's not as bad as what
like,
Jax was going through. It's kind of like a chain
trickle effect.
Yeah,
because it's just like the same thing of, if you take yourself out, there's somebody who's close to you who's going to feel majority of that pain, be it a friend, be it a parent, be it somebody. Yep. They're going to feel majority of that pain, if not all that pain. And then somebody who's close to them who doesn't have much relation to you, they might just know you in passing. They know your name, like, oh yeah, I know, I'll work with them, or whatever the case was, but they're closest to that person. Now they feel the pain from them, from you. It's a trickle down effect.
Yeah. Man, metaphors, bro. Good top tier storytelling, actually.
No,
but also, dude,
by the way,
I have for free, bro. All it is 3 hours of your, like, 4 hours of your time, an afternoon and a pizza.
That's a movie and some change.
Yeah, man. I told like one of my coworkers, she has like 3 kids, 2 of which are like 17 and 16. And I asked her, I was like, hey, do your kids watch Digital Circus? Do you know what that is? And she was like, what? And I was like, purple rabbit overalls and a jester. And she was like, oh yeah, they have stickers of that on their notebooks. And I was like, yeah, watch that. You watch that with or without them, but you watch that and you talk to them about it. Because she was like, I'm very transparent talking to my kids. We talk to each other about a lot of stuff. And I was like, that's cool. That's cool. You need to watch that whole thing, and you need to talk to your kids about everything in that show. And I told her, I was like, this is the subject matter. And it's like, if they haven't dealt with it, they probably know someone who does, or they will meet someone. in college who was dealing with that and
they
who was
will.
like that.
Guaranteed. Like that's the beauty about this show is that guaranteed there's always that you will meet someone like this in your life. Like I feel like now that I think about Pomni, like I also like see myself in Pomni a little bit, where she's like determined and headstrong. Like, hey, look, you're not getting away from me. You're not getting away from me. I'm holding you accountable. And
That's pretty much what you were dealing with in your last relationship, man. You were Pomni.
Yep.
You were Pomni
Exactly.
and Rivet, man. Yep.
I was Pomni and fucking Pomni and Ragged at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, and like even even like for some of my other friends, I had to kind of like I was definitely being there for them go through their hard times. I'm like, listen, I'm not giving up on you, just so you know. So come on,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
we got some shit to do.
With all of this, so I need to just go ahead and ask y'all this as the last little wrap up. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you guys give the show?
From an indie animation standpoint, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
From
Honestly,
a personal perspective, I would give it a 9.
Yeah, I'd say 9, like 9.5. If I want to give it a nice average between the two, like very well animated, especially like with like the different shit that they did, like with the anime episode and like the different like art styles and shit that they did.
Yeah.
Like, like that shit's pretty fucking cool. I would give that a 9.5, no fucking problem. Like, I think that just for all the aspiring indie animators out there, you can fucking do it. I believe in you.
Tell that story, bro.
Guaranteed.
Tell that story.
That's it. Yeah, definitely agree. Definitely like to any animation, 10 out of 10. Show, shit, I would, 9.5. Honestly, 9.5 or 10. There's so quite literally, there's nothing in this show that I would change. Like this show was perfect in my personal opinion.
Yeah, like the lessons and the metaphors wrapped around this colorful animation. It's just like this does this kind of stuff better than like the big companies do, like a la Disney with Toy Story, or like Inside Out did a pretty solid job going to like feelings, the emotional spectrum, and things like that. But I think this does it a little bit better. While like both are relatable in one way or another, to me personally, this hits a lot harder. Like, it hits a lot harder. And it's just like, all right, now I gotta fucking think.
And it's unfortunate that it's one of those things where it hits the hardest when you've unfortunately experienced it, especially firsthand. It especially hits when it's something that you personally witnessed.
Yeah, man. Definitely recommend.
Go watch.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to pick the brain of the creator of the show. Just straight up, just talk to him, man. Be like, yo, okay, we're gonna talk. It's so funny because after the final episode was, because this just goes into whole like media literacy and being able to take in subject matter and actually pay attention to things or dissect things in certain ways, where the creator of the show is just like, they tweeted, I think it was, it's crazy how people will analyze my show, be like, I get the metaphors, I get everything, but also here's my headcanon, and they're like, what? Like, what do you mean?
You missed the point. You missed the point.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely something worthwhile. Honestly, fun fact, I think like I was catching up on some shit. Like after dead ass after I finished watching this, I was scrolling through Instagram. Pomni's voice actress is in the new Ghost in the Shell reboot.
Oh
yeah, peep that. Yeah, there's a crazy cast for that, to be honest.
No, and then you know fucking Tony Weaver Jr., that black nerd.
Yeah, he's a character in that.
He's in the show too. I was like, yo, that's big, because I love Ghost in the Shell. So I'm looking forward to checking that out.